We started recording. Murugavel, you had the intro, so please start off.
Good evening, one and all. This is our next big thing series number 8, where we will be introducing our own Bitsian, who has started up the organization and serving the society. One such startup today is Befikar from our Bitsian Direct, who has created a new snacking experience for Indian subcontinent and for Indians. So love to hear more from him on this snacking experience and how it will help all Indians, especially kids and the forthcoming generations with a new snacking experience. And I welcome, as usual, our Hari, who is a great moderator for interactive, asking too many questions, putting them in deep troubles, and especially that will help come out of a good solution, helps for growth for everyone. And thanks our President Vignesh, Kiranmai, and Arti, and other Bitsa Chennai team, and our main chapter, Bitsa International, and our great leader, Srikanth, who is extensively giving us a support in continuing this kind of programs, more startups to go. Thank you, one and all. I welcome Befikar and Dairik to present for this day. Hari, dice is for you. You can go ahead.
Thanks, Murugavel. So great. It looks amazing to be on Spotlight with Befikar background here. You see the colorful packets there. So Derek, this is your product, right? Like, so tell us a little bit about your background, maybe when you started. When did you go to BITS? Which batch are you from? Maybe if you can have your mask off, you can see your beauty of your face as well.
Sure. Yes. So thank you, Murugavel, for the introduction, and Hari, to answer your question.
While still on travel, being able to take the call, appreciate it, Derek.
Yeah, and my apologies. I was supposed to be back in Rajkot at 4. I missed my flight. Now taking a car back home. So Hari, to answer your question, I'm batch of 2013. Joined BITS in 2013, did manufacturing engineering, spent 4 years on the campus, explored a lot of clubs, departments, and had a really eventful, experience at BITS.
So BITS has a manufacturing engineering now? It was not there in my
time.
It does.
Oh,
that's amazing.
I don't know when it started, but back in our time, so manufacturing was more focused around operations. So it's a mix of mechanical with lean manufacturing, Toyota principles, more operational kind of things, right, from manufacturing standpoint.
Great.
So, interesting course. So lucky you to get it.
Sounds good. So just to sort of, set the flow for today, what we'll do is the first 5-10 minutes we'll sort of have Direct sort of give a little bit of a background color on his background, his journey, maybe starting with where he was born, childhood days, and then college, and then what he did there, what he didn't do there, and then maybe a little about how did he think about, starting Befikar, and then a little bit of, introductory note on Befikar. And then maybe we'll get some warm-up questions from my side, and then would love if we can keep it sort of more interactive with Kiranmai, Vignesh, Arti, Murugavel, Sriram, all of you jumping in with questions from your side. We'll keep it more free-flowing interactions as well. So Derek, maybe why don't you start with a little bit of personally, who are you, right? Sort of a little bit of color on your background, maybe from childhood, schooling, college, a little color on yourself, please.
Sure. So Hari, I come from a very traditional Gujarati family, right? Being born and brought up in Rajkot, spent my early childhood days in Rajkot, and my family is a patron of boarding school. So I went to boarding in Dehradun in my 7th grade, right? So I've pursued like 6 years of my life in a boarding school in Dehradun under the name of Doon School, right? And during my time at Doon, I discovered my love for science, right? And that's how engineering happened. medical, I was confident I don't want to get into medical industry. Is something I was always passionate about, coming from a very traditional business family, right? So that's how I joined BITS Pilani with the thesis I want to pursue industrial engineering, right? And that's something I can build on eventually in life. At BITS, the thesis again was very clear that I wanted to explore campus as much as possible, right? From a learning standpoint, it was definitely there, but I was more aligned on the co-curriculars, the internships, which are part of BITS, right? So right from the first year, I was involved in the sports team, clubs, departments, entrepreneur cell, which is CEL, with the same thesis, that I want to like network with more people, understand on what I eventually want to do in life. So at BITS, I interned at a couple of places. I worked at Putzmeister, which was a co-manufacturing company. I worked at ITC, which was consumer. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. And I worked at Morgan Stanley, which was, again, MSCI, a fintech side of things, right? And out of all experiences, consumer was something that stuck with me. ITC experience stood out. And just to build on that, after BITS, I got an opportunity to work at BCG full-time, where, again, the thesis was the same. I could explore more sectors before I deep dive into one, right? So as my partner says, you flirt with more ideas before you marry one. So that's the thesis I started with. 8 months in the firm, I worked across sectors. I worked in finance, fintech, TMT, consumer, co-manufacturing with groups like Vedanta. And 8 months in the firm, I was confident that I want to get into startup space and I want to get into consumer. And that's why I dropped out, went back to the market, spent 4 odd months with the ITC folks in Bombay and Gurgaon, just to understand how markets were functioning, how the customers were reacting to products, right? And that's how Bayfikr was born. So small, long story short, explored a lot of things before I fixated into Bayfikr.
So interesting, guys. So I think the recipe for success is a lot of flirtations, right? So he says 2013 to 2017, he did his graduation. In 2017 to 20 period, in that 3 period, he said ITC, he said, where else did you work, you said?
Yes, I did internships. I did internships at Putzmeister and MSCI.
Okay, and post that, how many jobs did you jump?
Yeah, BCG was the only job I took up full time.
Okay.
Where I was 100% there.
I thought you did 4 jobs in the 4 years. Cool.
No. So
Great.
8 months in the firm, my partner was like, boss, I was in the same situation where you are. If you continue here, you get into your comfort shoes. You'll never be able to step out. If you want to try it, this is the best time, right? And that's what even I was aligned with. The kind of risk-taking appetite we have in our 20s is not the same when we are in 30s.
Got it. Sounds good. That's amazing. So Derek, if you had not done a business in this space, what else did you consider? I mean, since you said you sort of had multiple ideas that you were sort of looking at, evaluating, what else you would have done other than Bayfikr, if at all?
So, Hari, my love for consumer was always there. I was always aligned that consumer is the space I want to be in, right? So, besides F&B, we were looking into personal care. So, personal care was also a space which was very close to my heart. In fact, I'd gone to Kerala also at an Ayurvedic institute just to understand how Ayurveda is used in personal care products, right? And how the Korean cosmetics are much evolved for skin, for beauty. So I spent some time there, but the challenge in personal care was the barriers were very high, right? So there's a very high risk that you're taking when it comes to someone's skin, plus the experimentations are fairly low, right? So you need to spend tons of capital in educating customers about your product. And then the retainer is again fairly difficult because the periods between two shopping it's slightly stretched, right? So food is impulse. You eat a packet, you consume it, you chuck it, the next day you have another packet, right? For personal care products, they typically stay for about 15, 20 days, month and a half, right? So that's how we fixated on consumer. Plus at the same time, consumer space, especially in snacking, was evolving, right? So when we look at the snacking space, traditionally you'll have the giants like Haldiram's, Balaji, who've been ruling this industry for like 40 years now, right? And with the same product mixture, same items, same flavor, same packaging, right? And that's something that needs to be changed. But the challenge was in the last 30, 35 years, people in India thought that snacking cannot be more expensive than $5. $5, $10 is the premium that a customer willing to pay, right? But things have changed. In the last 5 years, we're seeing customers who are paying $35, $50, $100 for a packet of chips or any snack, right? And that's something that we wanted to ride on, and that's how Bayfikar came in, and that's why we got on the boat, right?
Got it. Interesting. So snacking, I mean, as a South Indian kid, right? Like to me, snacking meant, a lot of oily, fried, potato chips. And being a South Indian, I have my favorite murku with me. Maybe I can sort of, relate it to it now, right? So if you can see, this is murku, right? Like, so it's oil fried, and a lot of us have, our own traditional, snacks that we're very familiar with. So what's your differentiation? What's your outlook? I mean, I see that, these are all nutrition enriched snacks, right? So how do you bring in the, healthy quotient in a space or in something which is known for soaking in, oil and other things, right? So what's the thought there?
Yes, so Hari, you're bang on the point, right? Snacking is all about indulgence. I'll set some context on how Bayfikar was born, right? So when we went to market, when we were on offline stores, meeting different retailers, customers, distributors, right? There was one thing which was coming out very loud and clear and evidently, right? Most of the customers we spoke to were very aspirational in whatever they wanted to do, right? So people had aspirations around hitting the gym, going for yoga, going for gymming, going for walking, jogging. People wanted to do mindfulness. People wanted to do keto, intermittent fasting. So everyone had their own bubbles chalked out, their own, aspirations chalked out. But the same customer who used to go to a retail outlet used to pick that same Haldiram's ka bhujia or Lay's ka magic masala, right? And there was a mismatch in what they were saying and what was actually happening on the ground. When we took a step back, we looked at the healthy snacking brands or the so-called superfood brands, right, in the category. We realized that they had a very limited offtake. The returns were fairly high. There were like a lot of challenges coming at the offline store, right? And there were three major reasons which we saw the challenges coming to be, right? Number one was they were retailing products like ragi chips, kale chips, multivitamin, multi-grain products, right? Which had a very limited understanding with end customers. So customers today snack for indulgence. Today, a group of friends are coming over for dinner. You would want to pick out the snacks for that indulgence, that experience, right? You can't think of that indulgence when you're thinking of a packet of a kale chip. So that was the number one area where relatability was a big concern and dropouts were happening. Number two that we identified was the taste, and which was the most important thing. What we realized is Indian customers were happy to pop pills, but they didn't want to compromise on the taste of the product, right? So rightly what you mentioned, you'd want to have something that's chatpata, something that's very indulgent, rather than something that's nutritious, right? And that was a similar philosophy that customers had. While the brands had products like ragi and kale, and they had flavors like jalapeno and peri-peri and cheese and herbs, no matter how much jalapeno peri-peri you add on top of a ragi chip, it could never meet the taste palette of a potato chip or a nacho or a murukku in your case, right? So that's said and done. So that was number two where mismatch was happening. Taste is something that these brands are not catering to, right? The third challenge was the pricing. So while brands had dependence on a contract manufacturer, the distribution was slightly broken, right? They used to have high COGS and just to maintain a high gross margin around a product, right? Stretching from anywhere from 40% to 60, 70%. They used to penalize the end customer by charging a premium. So there were products retailing at 1 rupee to 5 rupee per gram of SKU, right? When we looked at markets, especially the tier 2, tier 3 markets, there were housewives, mothers, sisters were shopping. And they had fundamental dropouts when the MRP was greater than the grammage, right? So keeping these three things in mind, number one, relatability, number two, taste, and third is the pricing. We identified that we as a brand, we should not be focusing on that all healthy space, right? Because if we say snacks are healthy, we are lying to our end customer. Snacks cannot be healthy. But snacks can be better for you, right? Snacks can give you the same indulgence with more nutrition. And that's why Bayfikar, rode on a wave of functional snacking rather than healthy snacking, right? So all our products are focused a lot on indulgence. So you'll have products like nachos, peanuts, makhanas, popcorn, products that all of us love, right? With the focus that you're bringing in more nutrition in form of proteins, vitamins, fibers, or a proposition like low sugar, low fat, low salt, right? So that's the thesis with which we started. Our end goal was very clear that our customers should find value for money, right? So we positioned the products in such a way our pricing is at par with market leaders. So be it Cornitos, Doritos, in nachos, be it Japsons and peanuts, our products are at price competitive. And we've worked a lot on developing products in such a way that our COGS is much lower as compared to market alternatives, despite fortification, right? So that's our core strength. That's how we started, and that's how this brand was born, right?
Amazing. So without compromising on indulgence, you're saying you're fortifying with nutrients, right? And hence it's
That's
better
true.
snacks.
That's true.
Amazing. Great.
That's
great.
true.
Yeah.
So if you look at Hari, if you look at
go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at developed markets, right, fortification is the future, right? So everything and anything will be fortified in future. So if you look at staples in India 10 years back, used to have the same atta, same oil, same rice, which is now coming in with fortified with vitamin A, vitamin D. The products like the biscuit industry, if you look at it 5 years back, you look at it right now, you used to get the same Parle-G, Mom's Magic, Britannia, Good Day variants, right? Pure maida-based biscuits. Now you find products like Farmlight, which is focused on proteins. You'll find products like McVitie's, which are focused on fiber. So fortification is going to be the future, right? And we are strong believers that snacking is a category which has a huge potential. Like every day in India, there's bare minimum of 30, 40 CR packets of snacks sold. Right? And with that kind of scale, if you play a game of fortification, the kind of quantum you can reach to it's much higher.
Amazing. Now that we have a baseline set in terms of what Bayfikar does, maybe I see a couple of new people who have just joined. For them, just to set the room in context. So Bayfikar offers snacks that are fortified with nutrients and hence more functional snacks, but without compromising on taste or indulgence, right? So that's the positioning that he has taken. And I'll sort of, pause it here and sort of invite all of you to sort of, get, now that we have a baseline of what, Derek and Bayfikar does so far and the base story. Vignesh, Kiranmai, and Aarti, please feel free to jump in with any thoughts on, how do you look at...
Hari, the idea here, what I understand is the moment you position as a healthy snacks, a lot of question will come in. As he says, indulgence and the experience of snacking with the nutrition, I think people will not mind it, buying it. The moment you position it healthy, there will be a lot of questions, as you say, what is the oil, all blah, blah will come in. I think the positioning is right. This is what I understand from what he gone through and what he understood. That's the best thing to do.
Absolutely, Sriram. Yeah, so maybe let's just take a poll from the audience, right? Like, so, I mean, if someone says this is healthy food versus someone says this is nutrition enriched, right? Or nutrition fortified, which one appeals to you in a category like snacks? Let's be honest. We don't have to please Derek. Maybe he gets some feedback as well, right? Like, so let's test it out here. Do you want to?
If I can go first.
For snacking, I will not go for healthy.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be enjoyed. There is no point of eating healthy snacks.
Yeah, Kiran, probably you want to say from now.
Yep. So, like what? I mean, when Dhairik was mentioning that, you know what, when we think of ragi chips, nobody thinks indulgent. I'm like, oh my God, this man gets me. Because, there's no way I ever thought ragi and healthy or tasty at the same time together. Probably healthy, but then I never bothered about that part of it. And like I was mentioning, I have a 5-year-old who cribs or complains on everything I have to feed him with. So when I tell him that, you know what, this is very healthy for you, when I take a carrot and say this is very healthy for you, I'm sure he's not gonna eat that unless I have some spices on it or make it up in some other way than giving it its original form. So indulgence is definitely the leading thing right now. I mean, I have gone to stores where I have picked it just for its indulgence, and I've never bothered to look at, what's the fat content or what's the grain content and all of that. So I don't think most of us do it, and especially for snacks, healthy is not definitely a choice. At least.
Usually snacks is when you want comfort, right?
Yep.
Especially in this 1.5 years, I'm sure all of us have been higher on
Sriram
the
has got some
snacking.
nice snacks, but yeah. Go
Because
ahead.
we are bored. We're
Yeah.
sitting at home, we're bored, we don't know what to do. Pick a packet of chips or pick a packet of murukku or make one at home. Even if it is too much of work, we end up doing it. Whether we like it or
That's
not,
true.
we end
That's
up
true.
doing it. So that is what goes in rather than the health quotient. And like Kiranmai said, as a mother, I have had difficulty in giving vegetables and fruits to the children. So I always have found ways to innovatively put them in the food where they can't figure out the pieces, but it will still go in. As long as it goes in, I'm okay. So when you pick a snack packet, not just snack packet, in fact, whenever I go shopping, what interested me when you said was most of these kitchen-based snacking and food decisions are being made by the women of the home, which is mostly true.
Right.
And that is where the buying pattern changes. So appealing to the customer, not the end user, but the person who's making the decision, I think was an interesting way you position the product.
Right.
So that is what makes all the difference, right? We make that call. What has to
Right.
go
That's
into
true.
the food, even in our kitchen. So broccoli, beetroot, anything that I want gone goes in the form of cutlet where it is mashed, or in chapati as vegetable chapati, which is mixed, but the color doesn't change at all. So it goes in. Just that the children don't know. In fact, sometimes the spouse also
Right.
doesn't know. They don't figure it out. So I'm sure many of the spouses who don't do the cooking in the kitchen, but they eat, are going to be wondering what they're eating today.
Aarti, you're letting out the one secret that we were holding so dear.
Great. So this very clearly answers, right? Like you have a lot of people very clearly saying, when they're looking at snacking as a category, indulgence, and that's the positioning, right? So the second question, Derek, for you is, how do you sort of then look at normal snacking, which is pure indulgence, like a Haldiram, for example, right, versus a nutrition fortified snacking? I mean, how does a consumer sort of prefer this over that?
Yeah, so if you look at, so there are two kind of customers, right, Hari, when we look at it. Number one, there are customers who treat snacks as meal replacements, right? So people who are working at a home, people who are working at factory, people working at construction sites, right, who are not able to have lunch, not able to have dinner. They pick out that 5 rupee ke 2 packets and have it, right? So there's a segment of customers who treat snacks as a meal replacement. There's another segment of customers, people like you and me, who treat it as like a luxury, right? We snack for indulgence, we snack for fun. So the kind of proposition that we are catering to right now. So there are brands like A2B in the southern part of the country, right? They retail in Chennai, Bangalore. So they retail 5 rupee, 10 rupee products, which are purely about indulgence. They don't care about nutrition at all, right? So it's about oils, fats, getting the same mouthfeel and ensuring that the taste is there, right? So the customer is satisfied when he's placing a query. So for us, that is not a target group to cater to right now, because with the scales that we are presented, it's impossible to match the unit economics, right, to support them. But our thesis is to get to the customers who are making a decision for luxury, right? So customers like you and me who want snacking, who cannot leave snacking, but who would want something that's less guilt-free, that's less guilty, right? So a guilt-free variant of things. So our thesis in Bayfika right now is to have products which are priced anywhere from $20 to $40 to $60, catering to the top, that top 10, 15%, 20% of population in the first print. And while we pick on scales, while we get to a larger volumes, we want to get into the 10 rupee category where we also cater to the bigger chunk of customers, right? Again, the thesis will be that we'll never be able to go head on the grammages, but with minor less grammages, if you can get a better product to end customers, that's a value that we want to generate.
Interesting. There's one question from Akansha on the same point, right? Like, so when we are talking about pricing, how does it compare with the other alternatives? Do people have to pay a premium for this, or how does it compare?
So there are three segments of brands, right? So there are three segments of brands if you look in snacking. One is the players like A2B and Haldirams of the world, right? Who are playing a pure price and grammage game, which is something we can never beat, right? So peanuts, for example, they're selling fried peanuts, in a normal packet with a huge distribution network. They're just adding salt on top of it. So kind of cost of production they have is much lower as compared to us manufacturing peri-peri peanuts, which are roasted, fortified with whey protein and antioxidants, right? So Haldiram's A to B will like fall under the bottom strata of society, which is a pure mass play, catering to that meal replacement segment of customers I mentioned, right? The number two players are players like brands who are selling, kale chips, ragi chips, so brand products like Green Snack Co, Snackable, which are slightly catering to the top 1%, 5% niche population, right? Again, slightly pricey product where MRP can be greater than the grammage offered. And the third segment of customers are the brands are the players like Cornettos, Japsons, so market leaders in that segment, right? So they are sitting on a huge gross margin starting from 60% to 70%, offering like differentiated products. So we at Bayfikar, we try to go head on head against the third category of customers, right? So for example, Nachos, Cornettos is retailing 35 bucks 60 grams. We also retail 35 bucks 60 grams with more nutrition, right? And that's why we would want to generate value for money for end customers. How we do it is right now we set up our own manufacturing unit. So we saved on the 5% margin we shell out to contractors, right? On top of that, we've taken a trim on our gross margins for now, for the short-term basis, which is where our thesis is if we can justify value for money for customers, there's going to be a pull coming from customers eventually, right? And which is where we can get stronger with our channel partners on our channel margin to be more competitive. So that's how we look at it. So all products right now are priced very competitive to market leaders. In case of peanuts, again, Japsons is the market leader in India in flavored peanuts. They would retail the products at 70 bucks against 140 grams, right? Which is about 500 bucks per kg. Bayfikar retails at 40 bucks 100 grams, which is about 400 bucks per kg, right? So that's how we see.
Interesting. We have a bunch of amazing questions coming in from Akansha, Kailashji, Sridhar, Jayesh. Why don't we do this? Why don't we sort of have each of you ask those questions? I think it'll have a better clarity and better articulation of the question itself. Feel free to jump in, unmute yourself. Akansha, Sridharan, Jayesh.
Yeah, I'm Sridharan here.
Please.
Good evening. Actually, I'm based out of Muscat. I'm very pleased to see our our all bits guys out there. Congratulations for Bayfikar. And actually, I am from the 1975 batch. It's a wonderful product that you introduced, and just wanted to have a question on the product attributes in the sense that for example, since it's being addressed to the Chennai Janta, am I right? Is it addressed to the Chennai Janta? I mean,
not necessarily. It's just coincidental that most of the organizing set of folks are from.
Okay. Taking Chennai as let's say that taking Chennai as the regional market. For example, as you rightly said, that Murukku and other things is what the Janta out there by and large likes. Like the A to B thing is more liked compared to Haldiram's and all, because of various issues like the oil that's being used, the taste that we get, etc. So how do you take care of the regional preferences is what I just wanted to basically ask you.
So one thing what we learned when we started is after every 100 kilometers, right, taste preferences like change, and that's how things are, right? And with India being such a diverse country, you can't cater to all the population because that's when you'll be sitting on a huge inventory play, right? So what we do is we try to identify products which are slightly new age, slightly relatable across all markets. And when we enter into the market, we come with 3 SKUs, right? So in case of peanuts, we started with 3 variants, which was Chatpata, Peri Peri, and Himalayan Salted, right? And then after
with respect to which market, sorry?
So we looked at metros, right? So our approach is top bottom, right? So we look at all metro cities like Bombay, Pune, Bangalore, and then we go into regional channels, right? Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, right? So when we started with 3 flavors. Then after like 3 months of market, like people used to come back to us saying that, why can't we have something like that's on a sweeter note, something that's on a spicy note? So we came out with a product which was sweet chili. Right? Then traditional, like there was a demand for traditional peanuts, which is like the Hingira peanuts, which you find in the northern part of India, right? So a lot of people who reached out that why not have something that's more nostalgic, right? And that's why we had a Hingira variant added to it. Similarly, that's our approach in multiple products, right? In case of nachos, we started with 3 flavors, high-moving items, which was jalapeno, peri-peri, and cheese and herbs. And then after a couple of months of market, now we're launching barbecue. Again, very, very crazy flavor with millennials. And number 2, we're launching a more tikka masala kind of a variant, right? Which is slightly spicy, masaledar variant of nachos, right? So the thesis is that we would want to come out with products that like a large set of customers relate to, and we would want to come out with flavors which are like 3 flavors which are high moving in the market, and then we'd want to add 2 more flavors which would be something that's the feedback coming from customers.
Thank you. But from what I saw from what's displayed, I'm more attracted to the peanuts immediately. I mean, what I'm saying is, jalapeno is fine. Jalapeno is fine. Jalapeno is fine. But what I'm saying is, we need to be catering to what is mostly in demand in the domestic market. So something like peanuts, I would say that definitely would be mostly in demand.
And you're right. If I tell you some stats around Chennai market, right? So we are retailing through Big Basket in Chennai. Almost 70% of our sales would be coming from peanuts in that category, right? So South India is a huge market for peanuts. People love peanuts, right? And as an extension, we were also considering on coming into chickpeas, right? Healthier chickpeas. So chickpeas, again, very fast-moving product in southern part of India. Our thesis was that chickpea, which you find in the market, the commercial chickpeas you find in the market they have liquid glucose in it, right? Which screws with your throat, which is not healthy. It has
I would say that we need to be very careful about jalapeno and barbecue, though they sound jagged. But whether it is really liked in the market is what the quantum of demand.
Absolutely interesting.
That's true. That's right.
Sorry to butt in here, and as we speak, I'm getting pictures, on our WhatsApp group with the snacks that people have been making today and relishing. So the one that's in
fantastic.
That's from Murugavel's picture, and Kiranmay has a very interesting. Is it homemade, Kiranmay? You made this today?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to say the brand, but yeah.
Thanks, very nice.
For keeping my
Absolutely. And Kailash, you had a very interesting question. Please go ahead as well.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, say I come from Rajasthan, and Bikaner bhujia is quite famous out here. But what I observed in the brands here is that I think the taste of snacks matter. So if I talk about my taste, it would be different. My kids' taste would be different. What I wanted to ask you is that is it not the consumer eatables? Is it not more about branding and taste? The one the taste develops, like if in the potato chips, if you say Uncle Chips and Lay's and the current Gazab that we see, what is it different? But sometimes you like Gazab, sometimes you like Uncle Chips, sometimes you like Lay's. So don't you think it is a matter of taste and then branding? That is number one. And number 2 question I would just add right away is that is there any ingredient that you are putting in things which takes care of the diet part of it also, because it is believed that these snacks would increase towards your diabetes side or maybe the other side. So are we taking care of that part when you are saying it healthy?
Sounds good. So to answer your first question, right? So that you're bang on the point. What I mentioned, right? Taste preferences change every 100 kilometers for the same generation, right? And in the same household, as age gap increases, like 10 to 15 years of age gap, there's going to be different preferences, right? So you'd have a preference towards the traditional bhujiyas and the Ratnami seeds, while the kids might have preference towards nachos and popcorn and multiple other products, right? So with our thesis, so we're trying to appeal to the more millennial segment of customers, right? Slightly younger population. With the brand positioning, the messaging that's coming out is all about indulgence, right? Indulgence with nutrition, rather than saying nutrition with indulgence, right? So the priority number one is the taste followed by nutrition. So wherever you see communication coming from Bayfikar, it would focus a lot on that taste, that mouthfeel, that indulgence, that bite, followed by that element of nutrition, which would be a differentiator for you to make a decision, right? Coming to the second question, right? You mentioned about
the diet part of it.
The diet side of things, right? Which is diabetes and cholesterol and multiple other things. So the products that we've structured out right now have no cholesterol, zero trans fats. The thesis is all products should be low on sugar and salt, right? And low on fats. So barring the nachos, all our products are non-fried. It's roasted, right? So there's hardly about 1.5% of oil that you're adding just to get the masala stuck on it, right? Nachos, we tried doing non-fried, but again, there was a compromise on the taste of the product, which is why we shallow fry the product. So we roast it and then we shallow fry and then we season it and give it to market. So again, the thesis is that most of the products that we retail will have very low salt. Like almost all products that we retail have no sugar added on top of it, right? So there's another variant of popcorn which we're launching in short term, which is caramel popcorn, caramel and chocolate popcorn. The thesis is that we want to launch a product with 50% less sugar as compared to market alternatives. So there are brands for retailing gourmet popcorn, right? Like two companies which most of us would know. Our products are 50% of that. So they
Sorry for the digression, dear. Sorry for the digression. Are you driving and talking? Be careful, dear. Be careful. You can park on the sideways and talk.
No, I'm not driving. There's someone else who's driving. I'm sitting on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually missed my flight, which is why I had to take on the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, dear.
Thank you and congratulations. I think this is a wonderful thing. So I congratulate on behalf of our BITSA fraternity. Congratulations.
Hey, Derek. So,
Mr. Kailash Gupta, which batch are you, Kailash?
Sir, I'm from 1980-84 pass out. I'm from instrumentation and I'm based out of Jaipur, running my own IT company. Recently venturing into a mental wellness startup. I've headed BITSA Jaipur chapter for quite some time and now also on board of BITSA International.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations.
Hey.
I am based out of Muscat. I'm Sridhar and I am practicing as business consultant. I am from 1975 to 80 batch. I did my economics. Yes.
Great, sir. I've added you in WhatsApp. I'll ping you separately, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, hi, Derek. So
I was going to come in with a quick question, if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Derek.
Sure.
Really nice to hear your story from you directly. Hi. So for everyone,
how are you?
All good. We overlapped in college and we shared a club experience together. So really nice to be hearing about your journey from you directly, Derek. I have two questions. I'm going to squeeze them in. One is, as someone who started out with the thesis that you want to crack this niche segment of healthy snacking, was it difficult to then steer into, people really don't like healthy, let me just go for functional snacking? Did that feel like a compromise to you, and how did you kind of steer the direction based on the consumer insight? So more at a as an entrepreneur, more at an emotional level, how did you respond to that? That's first. And the second is from a promotion point of view, because obviously your Bayfikar is competing with the big leagues here. Have you started thinking creatively about how Bayfikar could couple with other big brands which already have that emotive appeal? For example, how Old Mac and Coke go together. So what do you think Bayfikar's couple can be for the people?
Right. So Akanksha, like long time, glad to catch up. To answer your first question, right, which is about the emotional thing. When we are in the market, Akanksha, like the survey that Hari just took, right? The answer was very evident and very clear that people snack for indulgence. They don't snack for nutrition, right? So on the very first day, we were very clear with a mindset that healthy to nahi chalega. It will not fly really well with end customers. The thesis was that the same customers who are now looking for better for you products, right? So you have products like ragi, soya chips, these beetroot chips. The customers, the reason why brands are promoting this product is with the thesis that these products come with more nutrition, come with more protein, come with more fiber, right? What we realized is that products like soya, ragi, bajra, they come with proteins, but they also come with 60-70% ash content, right? So there's 20% of protein, 30% of protein, with 60-70%, 80% of something else, right? Which is skewing the flavor of it. Rather than playing with ingredients, why not stick with ingredients that Indian customers love? So ingredients like potato, corn, wheat, these are ingredients that Indian customers just love, right? And you add any flavor on top of it, it's gonna fly really well with offline markets, right? So we focused on these snacks. We tried bringing in more flavor with nutrition, the same amount of protein delivered in a very concentrated format, right? So we are adding protein, vitamin premixes along with the masalas, getting the same amount of protein without compromising on the taste. So that's how the idea was born, and the thesis was very clear from the first day, right? It has to be indulgent. It cannot be all healthy, right? Number two, from a bundling standpoint, see, there are multiple brands that we can cross-sell with, right? And our products are, so our thesis is to do anything that's savory, that's anything that's snack, right? And we would want to get into anything and everything that's going into your pantry. So right from the breakfast essentials to late night, munching, we'd want to be everywhere. So typically the brands that we see as any beverage company, right? Stretching from a Bira to a Kohlberg. So those are the brands we can collaborate with.
Can you repeat the last sentence, Derek? I think you broke up.
Oh, I'm saying that. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm saying that our products would stretch with anything that. So our focus is a lot on snacking, a lot on savory snacking, right? So we'd want to be there in anything that's going in your breakfast essentials to late night munching. And we can cross-sell with any brands, any beverage brand, from stretching from a Bira to a Kohlberg, and any condiments or any sauces brand stretching from a Biba to Wingreens. Right? So multiple brands we can partner with. The thesis again with Bayfikar, and from a short-term standpoint, we'd want to do just snacking, and that too just savory snacking if possible.
Hey, can I go ahead with my question? Shankar here.
Yes, please do.
Direk, yeah, thank you. Direk, my question for you is, what is the goal, short-term and long-term goal you've set for Bayfikar? Maybe 2-year, 3-year, and 5-year.
Yeah, so short-term goal, again, what I mentioned is to get into the complete pantry of end customer, right? So stretching from breakfast essentials to midnight munches, we want to be there. The long-term goal eventually is to stretch up to the complete F&B category, right? Where we go beyond snacking, where we go into confectionaries. So products like Iceberg, right? So Iceberg ice crackers, which you would have had, like mint-shaped candies, which you have it, right? So those products can also be fortified with essential vitamins, which should give you the same mouthfeel, same fun with more nutrition, right? So we would want to stretch up into confectionaries and beverages eventually to cater to that complete F&B portfolio.
And the other follow-up question is, my friend was talking to someone recently, and he said the future of the snack market is about tablets, where you have the tablet and then it gives you the taste and the feel, and then that's about it. That's a really long vision for that. So do you tend to agree on that, or?
I strongly disagree with that. Right? Snacking is all about indulgence. That's what astronauts do, and we are not astronauts.
Okay.
One question that I have is with regard to the promotion and creation of awareness. See, with the pandemic in place, people are not able to go to the retail stores, and even if they go, they're in a hurry to come back, and they don't notice things with great, as before. You know, they have the time constraint now. They finish up fast and then they come back. So how do you really take care of this awareness issue? I mean, this social marketing is a good thing. I mean, among friends you have started. How do you plan to move on?
So we don't like, as of now, we've been a bootstrap company since we started, right? So we've not spent a lot money in marketing. If I tell you, and if I'm very honest, our last financial year spends on Facebook, Insta, and all social medias would be less than $20,000, right?
Okay.
So, the brand, we've not in capital. We focus a lot on word-to-word mouth, and that's how we've grown. So the focus is to deliver a good product, right? If the product is good, there are going to be customers who are going to come eventually, and they're going to refer to multiple other customers. What the point that we're trying to now start to address is to focus a lot on these point of sale decision making, right? Where there's a decision being made by a customer, the purchasing decision being taken, right? And that is retail outlet. So any outlet where a decision is being taken, we'd want to now we're going to start being more vocal around it, right? So with some planogram POSM, which is educating customers on what Bayfikar is different, right? Similarly, in case of online, from a couple of months from today, you'll start seeing banners coming up, visibility coming up, which is educating customers on why Bayfikar is different from other products. Right? So that's something we were now planning to do, right? With capital being pumped into those channels. But till date, we've been selling about 3 to 4 lakh packets, right? Every month, and we've been doing it organically without any kind of promotion, any kind of visibility display anywhere.
Great. Thank you.
I believe Jay had a question. Jayesh, go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to so a very similar question to what was asked just previously. So so now that, let's say I this product appeals me, I am actually interested in eating healthy, right? Healthy as along with that. I also want I am a human, so like the snacking bit is still there. So let's say okay, sure. So the taste bit is also like something that is going to be there. So now that I had actually tried to like consume these chips and stuff like on a less frequent basis. But now let's say you introduce me to the product. And it's available on Big Basket. I'm just making an assumption. I'm not really sure about Hyderabad. I'm based out of Hyderabad. So like I make my orders through Big Basket on a weekly basis. It's not that frequent. So like, what can we do about the accessibility bit? Like what's your plans? And because all the brick and mortar stores, or maybe basically all the retail stores and stuff, it's not accessible, like it's not available, right? Like not everywhere. So like what's the plan for that? Dhari, did you get
Give me a second. Give me a second there.
Sure.
Jayesh, can you just give me like 2 minutes? Just give me 2 minutes. Huh? I'm just.
Of course. Yeah.
Hari, just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. So probably until both of them join up, we'll use this minute to probably network with each other. So which other batches and campuses of BITS have people joined, and from which locations have you guys joined from?
Can I go quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Ajay Runta, 2002 batch. I'm currently in Bangalore working at Practo.
Great, Ajay. I can see.
I'm Sridharan from 1975 batch. I'm based out of Muscat. Very happy to join with you all. It's a great get together with Bayfikar.
Welcome aboard, sir, and we hope to see you join in our future sessions as well.
And absolutely, if you can help
my pleasure.
Muscat, that'll be a lot more fun as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Jayesh,
the
you're
invite
15
from
back.
Pizza Muscat. Yes. You are from Hyderabad, right? Yes.
Yeah, Jayesh here from Hyderabad. So I'm based out of Hyderabad right now. I'm working with Meralytics. I'm 15 to 20 batch. So basically, I graduated last year. So I'm 2 years junior to Dhairik's batch. Yeah, he was like the
great.
He was like the like the good at all things, like best, like great at all things, wala kind of guy. We used to hear about him like that.
Great, Jayesh. Great, great.
So which campus? The recent
Pilani
the
campus.
recent batches. Okay.
Same. Yeah, 15 to 20.
Because there are more campuses than what it used to be.
Yeah, correct. And Akanksha, what about you? Which campus do you belong to? 12 to 16, but which campus?
She was also
I think
with Derek, right?
Yeah, I think she's also Pilani.
So must be Pilani then. Yeah. So I'm from 97 batch Pilani, a dualite with bio with management.
Oh, great. What do you do now, Aarti?
I am a consultant for EdTech. I'm also a wellness counselor and parenting counselor. And I also write content for, create content and process consultation for education startups. Education, technology-based startups. That's probably the right word, right? Not education. Yeah.
It'd be nice if you have the contact details of today's meeting so that we can connect with each other. The organizer can help us.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yes.
Sir, I would share the contact details, the mailer where you can just drop in a mail and we can get back to you.
Yeah.
We can share the contact details there. Yeah.
What do you do, Kiranmai? Kiranmai, what do you do?
Sir, I'm Kiranmai. I am from BITS Goa, 2005, 2010. I mean, because you guys were unique in your own way, I want to be unique by saying I am the first batch of BITSAT.
Oh, yeah, great.
And I work as a product manager for grinding products in cement industry. And I'm based out of Chennai. I work with these amazing organizing team, which you see here, which is making this session happen. And nice to have all of you here.
You work with Vignesh Raja?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll probably go next.
Yes, please.
Millennial batch 2000, 2005, bio with MMS. Last 15 years, I've been working with market research, consulting. So now I'm on my own, focusing on training, teaching, coaching, and consulting. So that's a very quick brief about me. And I see some more new people here. I see Murugan, probably you should go next. And Rakesh Gupta is there. Ayush is a very familiar face here. So you guys should go next.
Good evening all. This is Murugavel 2007 batch Pilani campus. Currently I am a mentor and a strategist consultant for startups exclusive on IR 4.0 products. Running my own firm called Tap2Connect Technologies and will be consulting many startups who are in the tech space on EdTech and the FinTech based out of Chennai.
Oh, great, Mr. Murugavel.
Yes, thank you, Srijan sir. You share your contact number, sir. I think one of our great veteran, Mr. Sriram, is there. He will intro and he's a very great connect in Muscat and all.
Yeah,
Sriram,
I just put my contact details and also what I do. Yeah. Maybe I will do it again now.
Hello everyone.
Sriram.
Back in office.
Yeah. So your 1 minute happened. Networking happened when you were away for 1 minute.
I was following.
Great.
Yeah. So Jayesh, you're raising a question.
Yeah.
And Derek, since you're in office now, I hope you have some snacks handy to show us. Open it, show what's inside the difficult packets.
We now have like
yeah. Go ahead.
So over to you, Jayesh. You had a question.
I think Jayesh left.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I can probably read his question if you want to answer it. It's there on the chat. Just give me a minute.
As of now, are you particularly targeting tier 1 cities? How has the response been till now? So that was his question.
Yeah. Hey, sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I'll just clarify this bit. So now that the product appeals to me, let's say I like the product in the idea at least. I've actually seen the product. In Jabalpur. I don't know how it ended up there, but I've seen Befikar in Jabalpur. So, but right now, let's say in Hyderabad, I'm walking someplace, and usually what happens is I don't personally like. It might be some instances that I go to the shop just to buy chips, but usually what happens is I'm walking someplace, I just see the package and I buy. So like, what do you do about this? So how are you going to reach the consumer? Accessibility kaise increase karenge? Basically, that's the question. Because big baskets, I don't order that frequently, right? So
yeah, that's true, and that's the whole reason, Jayesh, why we are going offline as well, right? So as a brand, we just don't want to do online because a lot of purchases and snacking happen on impulse basis, right?
Exactly.
Staples को तो planned होते हैं यार, 1st to 10th के बीच में यार आटा लेना है, oils लेना है. It's a very planned purchase. Snacking is very impulse, and that's why we are doing a mix of both online plus offline. To answer your question on Hyderabad, our thesis. So we just started Hyderabad like a couple of months back, right? The thesis after 6 months is to be present in all 7 stores out of 10 stores, which are A class or B class stores, right? So any store which is selling a Ferrero Rocher or a Epigamia or a Raw Pressery, right, should also sell Befikar. And out of 10 outlets, Befikar should be placed in 7 of them. So that's how we're targeting. So we're targeting the regional modern trade formats like Ratnadeeps of the world, which have about 100 outlets. Right? Also, those discovery outlets, so any outlet which is air conditioned where a customer can come and touch and feel a product, we'd want to target them. So our thesis is not to get into the mom and pop stores or the Kirana stores for now, until we have smaller variants.
So right now, like so you said no, you came into Hyderabad only like a couple of months back. So what's the medium? Where can I get Befikar? Where can I get Befikar basically?
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. I won't know which outlets sell. I'll have to check with the team and get back to you. Right? How we function?
It's not like Big Basket or Ratnadeep as of now.
So Big Basket we do. How we function in offline is we appoint channel partners, right? So since it's next to impossible for us to track each and every outlet, we have channel partners who sell a product in offline stores, right? And that's where we don't have we know what outlets we sell to, but we won't have it handy in front of us. Like, for example, I can name a store, of course. Store like G-Mart karke koi hai kya? G-Mart or something in Hyderabad, which retails Befikar. Again, it's a air conditioned store.
No, I'm not sure.
Maybe you're talking about D-Mart.
D-Mart? Is it D-Mart? D-Mart?
No. He definitely would know D-Mart. No.
Yeah.
So then, like these,
he definitely would know D-Mart. He wouldn't say D-Mart.
So there are 250 stores in Hyderabad where we retail right now at the moment. We're adding more. So the thesis is to get to 800 stores in 6 months.
Oh, of course. So Ratnadeep layout, it's like a very good place. A lot of like your basically target customers go to Ratnadeep, and I would say Vijeta, and More is another like company which basically retail stores, which has a lot of retail stores. So, I mean,
so focus would be more on
channels
like Ratnadeep rather than channels like More, because Ratnadeeps will have like quicker checkout compared to More or a Big Bazaar. So quicker checkouts add on
definitely
like customers advantage.
Okay. One more thing. So like you did talk about the marketing bit, but previously, like you said that your marketing spend is very low as of now. So like you definitely would have thought about it, but what's the plan like for tying up with fitness enthusiasts? No, not enthusiasts, but trainers, like some fitness celebrities. So like, do you plan to tie up with them, and then or maybe sports? Not sure specifically fitness, but not exactly, but people like Virat Kohli. I'm not particularly saying Virat Kohli, but yeah, someone like that. So
that is there. But Jayesh, that would be our second stage of things, right? So first focus is to make sure the product is as accessible as possible. as visible as possible. And then the second stage would be around branding with a brand ambassador being there on the face of the packet, and then promoting that's number 2.
Got it. Yeah, sure.
But we've started. So we, in form of reaching out to more customers, we've started doing partnerships with platforms like Cred, Steps at Go, which are reaching out to these aspirational segment of customers that we would want to cater to. And the response we've got is crazy. So in case of Cred, the first time we went live, within 55 minutes, the brand sold about 22,000 packets. We went stock out in just an hour's time. Right? So those responses have been crazy. Now we are going live every Sunday on Cred, and we've been selling like 20,000 units every Sunday, right? So these platforms have really added. So again, the thesis would be very similar, trying to get on platforms where you know your TG is there, right? I would know Desh is coming here, I want to be there.
Yeah, all right. That's all from me. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
So before we go to the next question, may I request everyone to switch on their cameras so that we can take a nice picture of the session?
Yes.
So consider all of you spotlighted right now. So. So somebody is nicely combing their hair. Somebody is probably, setting things around. So we'll wait for a minute and then do it.
Okay. Figure background.
Yep.
So, it felt so good to hear you after such a long time.
Thank you.
Shrikant, we need you on video. ASAP.
I guess Shrikant is just completing his snack.
Or he's
Ayush?
No, what? You call me or what?
Yeah.
We just want to have your video on so that we take a picture.
No. Thank you.
Okay.
My
Ayush?
Ayush?
Give me a sec. Profile picture is as good as the perfect picture.
Yeah. I mean, such a perfect picture he's got, man.
Jason is the only one left.
Yeah, Jason.
Thank you, Sridharan.
Yeah.
Hi.
So Jason also
and I'm Sridharan here.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's indeed very nice. It's very indeed excellent, actually. It's excellent in the sense, we have been able to exchange views and, really on the new products, and very happy to see that Bitscians are going great and very highly entrepreneurial, hearty congratulations. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Can
Vignesh, have you captured it?
Can someone confirm? Murgal, can you take a picture? Maybe a couple more.
Yeah. So say Befika. Yep.
I've taken a picture.
I have a picture. Yeah.
Please send it to us, guys. Thank you.
So yeah, we can move on to the next question.
Did Jason get his question answered? Are there discount coupons on the site, Derek?
Yeah, there was a question about discount coupons. So yeah.
Since you've given me a lot
very
of
important, I guess.
So Jason did not appear. Jason did not. Sorry, Jason did not appear on video. So
sent for his question.
You all have taken the picture?
Yeah, we have.
Thank you.
So Jason, if you're hearing Derek says, if you come on video, you'll get a discount coupon.
And Jason is like, if you give discount, I come on video. So
No. I think there should be like a Bitscian coupon for all Bitscians.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a good way to do it. No?
Is that the one? Feedback 20?
Yep, that's what he said.
Hari, what do you do? What do you do, Mr. Hari?
Sridharji, I work with startups. I've been in the investing world. Now I'm in the investment banking world. helping startups fundraise currently. Yeah.
Oh, even I have been in the investment banking for the last 15 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We'll catch
So
up. We'll catch up separately.
Yeah, Jeetan says he can hear it loud and clear. He'll miss his coupon. He's asking me for coupon on behalf of you.
Yeah, being in investment banking, I think we should help Bayfikar grow from level A to level B.
Absolutely, sir.
I think Sriram, you can introduce yourself because it will help for you connecting with the Sridharan.
Sir? Murugal, you are talking about me?
Yeah.
Yes, Sriram. Yes, Sriram.
Okay. I run my own consultancy.
Hi, Sriram.
Okay.
How are you?
I run my own consultancy in Dubai and India for last 17 years.
Oh, Sriram, I am based out of Muscat. How come we have not connected with each other?
That's why I know roping.
I don't know. What is the name of your consultancy, Sriram? Sorry for other.
Miscon. I will send it across to you.
In the chat
it's
box.
Almost 17 years in Dubai.
Oh, excellent. I am here in Oman for the last 16 years, from 2005 onwards, and I worked in investment banks like Oman Arab Bank and
We have done some work in Bank of Muscat long back, 2010. We have done some work.
Okay.
And we have implemented some Oracle financial solutions for some of the government entity in Muscat during 2016, 17 and all.
Okay. Excellent, Sriram. I am putting my contact
have been to
details.
Muscat only once.
Okay. That is, you are so near, but you are so far.
We focus mostly in UAE market. That's just a big market for us to penetrate and things like that.
Okay.
Sridharji, if you can put your contact on the chat, all of us can connect with you.
Yeah, I put it to Sriram, and I have already put my contact details more than once.
Perfect, great. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Great,
Sriram,
amazing.
what is your number? Quickly.
I'm typing.
Okay.
On the chat.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Amazing. So now we are going to see Bayfikar going to Middle East.
Is this the Dubai number?
India number.
No, India.
You are in India now, not in Dubai.
Currently in Chennai.
Okay. Oh, on vacation, is it? Or you are not able to go back?
No, I'm taking care of India operation now. My team is taking care of Dubai operation now. There is a big team in Dubai.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I will connect with you.
No issues.
Okay.
So I just have one question for, Bayfikar in total, but especially for you. So how do you unwind yourself? What do you do with your free time?
You're addressing it to me?
Yeah, to you. Yes.
By eating snacks?
By eating snacks, or
I don't snack. I just have like so much snacks during the day when we're like working on new products. I've stopped snacking now at night. But see, I like to read, so I read at night. What I've done is just to ensure I don't exhaust out. Right? I've put a cutout time. So after 9 p.m., I generally don't take business calls. I try to spend time with family. Right? And it's something I've just started doing it lately. Just adds more energy in the next day, right? So I take some time out, read, and that's it. Watch movies on Saturday nights. So today's a night when I'm gonna watch a movie.
Sure.
Yeah, give us a couple of recommendations for the weekend movie.
There's a lot.
Oh,
right?
and book recommendations as well, Derek, for me. So.
Like my number one recommendation would be Atomic Habits, right? It's a brilliant book.
Right.
And
I think I should take it. I've had enough recommendations come my way for that book.
Anyone who asks me for a recommendation, that's number one book. It's just like it's something you can implement on daily life. Right? It really is.
Do you watch a Tamil movie?
What is it called?
What is it called? Sorry.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Oh, okay.
James Clear.
So give us some chill out movie thing, not the serious.
Yeah,
book
he gave the book
for
thing
now.
because I think he
This is
connects
chill out
to
time,
the book.
snacks time, right?
There's
So
a very interesting movie. I don't know if you like old movies. There's a movie called 12 Angry Men. If you've not seen it, you should watch it.
12 Angry Men.
Angry Men.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sure, we'll do that for this weekend.
Some of you were probably born at that time because it's 1957. So
It's an old movie. If you want to watch something fun, there's Soul, which I really loved, a recent movie, animated one. So again, not a movie buff, but I try finding movies which are like which have a story, which has something behind it. So my friends find it very irritating, right? So whenever I want to find a movie, I just go to IMDb, top 500 movies, and then do a checklist like tick, tick.
no, Jayesh was talking about that when you weren't active for a while. So he was talking about how you are that good kid who went to all the classes and then been
not
there,
go to
done
that.
everything and all that.
Badly mistaken. I've
No,
not gone to
his
classes.
statement, I should probably say, his statement was specifically that you were good at everything.
No,
He
yeah.
was, you were that guy who was good at everything you took up. That was
So
his
there's-
statement.
So Aarti, there's a very funny story on how I became famous on campus, right? So the first year, there was my sister's wedding. Second semester, I took 1.5 months off just to help her prepare for a wedding. So she said, "This is very important to me. I want you to be with me." 1.5 months, I was with her at home. I went back to college. 3 days later, we had midsems. And I got like all my wingies to like just teach me, sikao. And then eventually, fortunately or unfortunately for me or them, I scored better than them, right? And that's why I became famous or infamous during the first year. But from our classes, I bunked a lot of classes, right? So I used to lead an event called Conquest, Bitsin Startup Conclave, right? And the Conquest was not live before we started. So 2 years, 3 years ka gap tha. We went live again. So we had to raise capital, sponsorship raise karna tha, koi back end support nahi tha. We had to do media. So that used to be like super fun. So to be honest, the zero attendance thing at BITS is something that really brought out this
Yes,
side.
I agree.
You just like, I remember between two midsems, we used to make sponsor calls, right? Sponsors ko phone karke puchte the, yaar paisa de do. Like we used to pay them 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs. And that used to be so much fun. I think that's something which we should stick on in BITS.
Yeah, true. I mean, no attendance policy is something we have to stick on. I agree.
And then we made a group. So there are very funny Bitsin stories, right? We had a group called Manufacturing Class Bunk, where anytime there used to be like, oh, uska surprise quizzes hota tha na. Anytime a teacher would get that paper, koi group pe dal dega, WhatsApp group pe, like all of a sudden you'll see like 50 students flooding into the room. So BITS was very fun.
Oh, that was a nice one because surprise tests usually people miss during our time. There was nothing like that. Even then, there were people who would probably come to the room, bang on the door, and open, get you to the classroom. But it was not as organized as you would do with a WhatsApp. So yeah.
Now it's very organized.
great.
No,
So there is
correct.
absolutely. If only someone, WhatsApp, I would have attended more surprise with us. Got one more grade, one more CGPA more probably because of that. Great. Amazing. So there is one question. Yeah. But by the time I walk from the hostel, I think the class would be over or surprise test would be over, I guess, right? So great. So Derek, what help do you need from BITSA or BITSA Chennai or any of us here? Like what are the top 2-3 areas where you need help?
Yeah, so I just knowing you all is a lot helpful, right? So anywhere you think I can be helpful to any one of you, or any one of you have any ideas where you can be helpful to us, right? In form of connects, in form of getting in right with the right people, be it the right store owners, be it the right online platforms, be it the right set of investors, happy to get in touch, right? It works both ways, right? So anywhere.
Absolutely. Don't be formal. Don't be shy. Send us unlimited snacks every month. We'll be happy to.
No, in our own bit, we'll try to promote it online through Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Okay.
Well, maybe Hari, maybe like my office, I can have some snacks for people to eat, right? So
absolutely. So anybody running offices, just get some packets displayed there. Sell it in your canteen. Pay him also for that. So that'll be great. That'll be great. And we have gentlemen from Dubai market. Please take Bayfikar all over the globe. Get some dealerships. Do you have dealerships, distributorships, Derek?
Yeah, no, we do. So Dubai is not. We don't have a channel partner in Dubai. So happy to have a channel partner in Dubai.
Absolutely, Sriram. There you go. Maybe if you can help, or Sridharanji, if you can help there. That's one. And perfect. So I think Derek, you're also raising angel money. So if anybody wants to invest, there you go. That's another big help you can do as well.
Sure,
and obviously,
I think Dubai, there is a Bitsa group. We can talk to them also.
Absolutely. Sure. That'll be good. That'll be fun
I'm
as well.
part of that. Maybe I can talk to people, find out and things and that.
Makes sense. And I'm just also jotting down my contact details, right? So that all of us can keep in touch.
Yes, I can talk to the Dubai team and find out what can, maybe not immediate. Once you are ready, we can take it forward there.
True, that's true.
Perfect. And in case you,
I have one question, Derek.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please go ahead. After this question, maybe then. No. We can go ahead with this last question, and after that, Aarti, maybe you can do the honors with the word of thanks. Yes, please. Last question.
Derek, what is your TG group, target group, age-wise, or how you are targeting these snacks?
Yeah, so we positioned the products for people anywhere from age of 20 to 35, right? So this would constitute to almost 70-80% of our population that we're targeting, right? In form of communication, in form of messaging. The thesis is to get to this segment. We don't want to focus a lot on either the bottom strata or the up strata, right? Of 8 segments. And this is something that has resonated. So when we started early days, right? We used to do free sampling outside retail outlets. We tied up with most of the office spaces in Mumbai. So Hotstar, Viacom, Dream 11. We used to do sampling at office spaces. If people used to like a product, we used to get it onboarded to the office canteens, right? And during this journey, we realized these were the people who are snacking a lot. These were the people who were like resonating a lot with a message. So right now, all communication that we address to is to this target group.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Another quick question for you.
Sure.
Yeah, another quick question for you. I could see a lot of decline in these snacking organizations. Right from you take even Patanjali or whomsoever coming, they are not steady in the market. Okay. So what do you think the best point, or what is the best pitch to be stand in the market for so many years? Because everyone is like a rainbow coming there for some time. And there is some other 1 or 2 differential notes coming, and definitely there see the decline of the snacking. Here too, I told no, in Chennai also this guy had a very great good snacking experience here, but slowly couple of wrong things come from the kids angle. Slowly that he got a decline in his snacking experience. So that's why I want to ask you how you stabilize the branding for so many years serving the people.
Yeah, I get your question, right? So if I give an example, if you take any metro city for an example, right? Let's take Mumbai as an example. There will be minimum of 12 to 15 brands. And by brands, I mean like people who have capital, who have good products coming in the market. And at the same time, there'll be like out of that 12 to 15, there'll be 11 to 14 brands will go out every month, right? So about one brand would survive. And this is happening because where brands generally go wrong is on trust, right? So if you manage to instill that trust in your customers, and that's why we've been very honest with the products, right? We are very blatant when we say we are not healthy, right? We are a functional snacking brand, but you're not a healthy snacking brand. When you instill that sense of trust, when a customer sees that the products are actually value for money, they're going to come back to you again. And the brands like Haldiram's, Balaji, they've been built on trust, right? They've delivered products consistently with high quality, best prices possible, and that's what made them survive, right? So if you look at the mass segment, we are still catering to a segment where we have less competition. Nachos and all, we have limited players. But if you look at the mass segment, like players where A to B are playing, right, or Yellow Diamond or Pratap Snacks is playing, they're like they're flooded with companies because they have products like roasted coated peanuts, namkeens, bhujiyas, and all, which typically require investment size of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, right? So you have like so many unorganized players coming in every month in the market. But where they go wrong is on quality and consistency, right? So if that trust is breached once, you'll never get that customer again because he has so much options. So for us, if you want to grow with the same pace, with the same element of trust, we need to make sure our products are value for money, right? Customers see that the products are at par with the pricing of alternatives with more nutrition. And number two, we have to be honest in whatever we are communicating. This is something.
Good, Derek. I'm over, Hari.
Amazing, guys.
Hi, Derek. This is Magesh from Chennai. I just had a couple of questions. In Indian snacks, we have such a variety of snacks. If you take region-wise, is there a plan to expand your product mix? Currently, I can see some 3 or 4 products in your website. That's question number one. And second, I was curious in the initial stages of founding your venture. Were you part of any, TiE Chennai or some other organization which you helped out in the initial stages?
To answer your first question, Magesh, what we've done is we started with one product. We started with peanuts. We understood how supply chains worked. Once you're confident on our customers, once you're confident on markets, we added nachos, then we added makanas, and then we kept adding products, right? So every 2 months we try to offer something new. Either it's new flavors or new product. So right now we are working on a product. Again, it's work in progress. We're working on a product very similar to Cheetos, which is high protein, high fiber, but with the same indulgence, right? Same crunch, same bite, same flavors. So the thesis is to like keep adding up portfolio mix and have a bigger offering to end customer. And that's how we're going to fit into the pantry, right? So today, I know Magesh is a big fan of peanuts. He's a big fan of chanas. He doesn't like nachos. So we should have at least peanuts and chanas in our portfolio, right? So we can cater to you. So that's how we're looking at it. Number two, from an acceleration standpoint or from an incubation standpoint, we've not participated anywhere. The Bitsian network was really helpful, right? When we started, like people like Hari in Big Basket, when we wanted to get listed on Big Basket, we sent our email to him. He got a complete team working for a product. So Bitsians have been really grateful for us in this complete journey, right? The process becomes very fast. While we want to transition from normal Amazon marketplace to Amazon India retail, which we're now doing, I just reached out to one of my colleagues at Amazon, Bitsian. He connected to me another Bitsian, and then we got a brand listed, right? So I think we don't need any accelerator platform or incubation platform, right? When you have a Bitsian network.
Absolutely. Well said. Bitsians are
that's
everywhere
great to know.
you get help. Yeah.
And just last one. Currently, the revenue model, is it that you're getting good traction out of your e-commerce model, or the traditional channel of distribution is getting you more?
So pre-COVID, our offline split used to account for almost 60-70% of sales. With COVID, again, it's been a blessing in disguise. Online has shot up to almost 50-60%, right? So the thesis is that in long-term basis, we'd want more customers coming on direct to website, direct to platforms like Amazon, Big Basket, and purchase, where we have more visibility on who they are, where they come from, how frequently are they buying from us.
Yeah, right. I got it. I had a suggestion. You had told that mostly you're promoting your products mostly on a word-to-mouth basis and not focusing on marketing much. I think it's been now how many years since your initial launch?
Yeah, we started. So I quit my job in 2018, mid 2018. We started operations in late 2018, where we had to set up our own manufacturing unit. So We spent about 6 to 8 months in developing our first products, and we started in mid-July 2019. So it's been almost almost 2 years since we came into market now.
Right. Nice to know. So I was just going to suggest that maybe a little bit spend on marketing would help scale up the product level. So that
Yeah, we will. Since now we are more confident on the product, our channels. You should see Befikar more popping up on all platforms you go to.
Yeah, right. Good luck.
And absolutely, Mahesh. That's why he's also fundraising, and I hope that will also increase the marketing budget, and Befikar we could see it in more places. Great. Sounds good. Great guys. It's been a wonderful evening on a Saturday, and amid snacks, we could see pictures. I was eating snacks, and Derek, great to see your journey, and would love to, continue to be in some way connected, all of us as Bitcoins, as customers, as your brand ambassadors. So you would see cheerful brand ambassadors here. So love to play that role in supporting, and very rightly said, right? Like if you're a Bitcoin startup, you don't need an accelerator. Right, so you just have Bitcoins to help you. That's an amazing statement. I'm going to take that
the
and
network does the job for you, right?
Absolutely. That's going on my Twitter today. Great guys. Thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you so
why don't
much.
you take the privilege to close the session with your word of thanks?
Thank you, Avi. It was
Thank you so much.
Having a lot of discussion today.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. It was an amazing discussion. It felt like,
Yes.
And cultural fest and these fests where you sit in those rooms in the name of brainstorming and you talk everything under the sun, sky, and you have fun. So it was amazing to have you here, having that kind of discussion back. Going back to the nostalgic feelings of bits, because for me, for quite a few of us who joined, we have left bits long back, and this gave us back that memories as well. And for a very recent pass out, you seem to have amazing clarity on what you want from your business and where you want to go. With your propositioning of Befikar being value for money and trust, these things take a long time for people to figure out, which I'm pleasantly surprised that you have figured out the secret behind the best brand building exercise, right? So those were the best points which I enjoyed listening to. Value for money, target audience being fixed on the home, the women who make the decision making for snacking at home, and pricing your products in the right way to hit a specific target segment for now, and then branch out with new products from every zone being introduced to increase the portfolio. I mean, that's brilliant. And it was a pleasure to listen to you from the beginning to the end. We wish you a great success in your journey, and you always have the Bitcoin network to fall back on for any support we need. Thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you, Hari, Vignesh, Kiran, and everyone who attended the call. Right, it's very fun.
Thank you, Derek. It was a wonderful presentation from your side. We wish you to grow from level A to level B, even beyond the geographies of India. Don't neglect us. Oman and Dubai and UAE, they're all small. They may be small markets, but people regularly go and consume a lot. So yes. I wish the brand comes to this part of the region also. Okay. And wish you all success, dear. And if you could help you out in any initial stages of funding, please do get in touch with us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sridharan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.